As a pool company, I know from our experience in terms of what we've done to get to the point where we're at. And we started out like most pool companies, building very basic swimming pools, providing very basic services, but not being satisfied with that being enough. Now, there's probably a couple different ways of growing that sphere of what you do. I know for us, we agreed that we wanted to be more. We agreed that we wanted to do cooler, funner, awesomer, neater things. And yet, how do you go from doing this thing to doing that thing, then to doing this thing way up here? And number one, it's having the right client. It's having the right client base. It's all of those things, but it's not very easy to go from doing the very basic, simple, to doing the fairly complex and artistic in one step. But what gets us from that point A to point Z, if we call it that, is how we market ourselves. Through advertising, marketing, and sales and those types of things, we can grow the influence of what we have. So if we're building really basic pools, which is what we were doing, and I had this desire to be creative, innovative, different, try different things. I was tired of the stagnant market in the vinyl liner industry. People just weren't doing anything different. Everyone was trying to sell the same thing, and everyone was beating each other up over price. And my idea was, how could we make it more gunite-like? On a core basic level, it was, how can we take this very functional, practical product and make it look cooler, make it look more like a custom pool? And the only way that I could do that was through marketing, because I couldn't magically make it happen and then sell it. I had to believe that I could do it, and then I had to put it out into the universe, out to the world, so that they would understand, wow, there's an option, and then they would hire me, and then I would build it for them. So it always started out as an idea first. What was that next thing we were going to push? What was that next big breakthrough that we were going to happen? How would we do it? We didn't sell it and then decided we wanted to do it. Instead, we decided we want more, we want different, we want more exciting, we want more exotic, we want more of that. Okay, so maybe this is how we would do it if we could sell it that way. But then we would market, and the market push would be, have this really cool thing, have this really great new thing, have this really whatever, and a customer would see it and say they'd want it. And as a result, now we had the opportunity to build a thing that we talked about. Literally talking it into existence, because it didn't exist before. At least for us, it didn't exist until we talked about it, marketed for it, then sold it, then built it. So you don't build it, then talk about it, then sell it. It's the opposite. You talk about it, you sell it, and then you build it. And that's how innovation happens. It doesn't happen magically. You have to have the idea first, sell the idea, and then build the idea. And once you've done it, then it's easy to market it again and again. So from a marketing standpoint, I think starting on the very bare basic is, what's the next logical step that you could see yourself doing? And maybe it's taking a really basic vinyl liner pool and deciding to figure out how to adopt putting a stone edge around the pool. Well, how would I go about a stone edge? And today you can buy you can buy systems through steel companies that allow you a tray to pour a concrete beam to put stone on it if you want. For me, I did it my own way. When we got started, we did it all our own way. But if that's the next logical step that would make sense that you could do, that's what you start to market. So if you're only doing this and that's what you're known for, but you want to do this, you have to talk as if you know what you're doing here, and your marketing has to say it. Online, you got to start talking about it. In any print ads, you got to start talking about it. In your yellow page ads, if you still have those types of things, you have to talk about it. Because once someone says it, or if you get to an appointment and someone has no idea what they want, that's when you talk about it. And you say, what's really cool is this thing. Eventually someone says yes, and you build it. And do you step on your toes sometimes? Oh yeah, you do, because you don't know exactly what you're going to do, and every situation is different. But if you can grow into that, and once you've done it, it's easy to sell that again. But then the next step would be, what's the next logical step? What's the next thing that I need to do to get closer to maybe that ultimate goal of creating really artistic custom pools? Because when I got into this years and years ago, we were selling really basic stuff, and I was looking at the superstars going, I don't know how they did it, but if only I could do that, I would be so happy with what I was doing. But I realized I had to figure out how to be happy with this right here, and then understand the next step, figure out how to do the next step, then sell it, and then build it. And then once I built one, it was easy to build a bunch of those, but then what was the next logical step? And what's the next logical step? And what that takes is time and money. From our end, we understand the internet and the power of the internet, and that's why so much of our revenue, marketing revenue, goes into the internet part. And it's really not that much dollars versus it is time. Sitting in front of a camera and talking for hours and hours and hours on end if you look at the amount of video footage we have online. But what that's done is that's established us as an expert in the market. And not only that, it's allowed me to talk about the next step that I haven't gotten to yet, as if I'm there. And someone's seeing that saying, well, I want that. So then we build it, now we have it, now we can go to the next step. But it was the time investment more than anything else. And of course, we've tweaked out our website, we've spent money, we've done it in-house, we've done it out-of-house, we've hired people to do things, we've done a lot of it ourselves. Any number of possibilities there. You could spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month, but I don't think you have to. I think you can totally subcontract the whole deal out and do none of it yourself. You can hire a company to do a social media platform, do all the platforms and take care of that for yourself, for you. I don't think it's authentic, and I don't think that you're really doing your system and your customers justice by doing that. I think what happens is when you figure out the team people that it makes sense to utilize, that are willing to do it and are excited about doing it, and there's someone in every company that loves social media. I don't care what company you're with, you could be as old school as possible. There's somebody there begging to be willing to do that kind of stuff. All you have to do is ask. Get the right people involved to do the right steps and invest. And this is not an investment where it's, what's my return on investment? I put out an advertisement in the newspaper and I get this many calls and results. It doesn't work anymore that way. And you can certainly try all you want, and you'll find that it's pretty miserable. But instead, it's how can I keep investing in me? And what we realize now is with everything we've done online, everything is just building. So that next year, we'll have more calls than this year. By just doing what we're doing, we're building a much larger sphere of influence, a much larger social consciousness of what our company is. Where in the past, we would advertise in the local, the special springtime ad in the newspaper and the local magazines and all of those types of, and once those magazines were opened and closed and put on the shelf, they were gone. That marketing was gone. Today it's not. Today it's everything we do online grows our brand and grows our business. And I think if there's nothing else that you could learn in this little conversation, one-sided conversation nevertheless, but if you could understand one thing, every time you do something that goes out online with respect to your business, with respect to your brand, that's growing your brand. Everything you do, every video you put out, every blog post you put out, every type of comment and every type of interaction that you can have in the social media world, that's building your brand, not just for today, but for the long haul. Because the video that you see of mine today, 1 year from now, will still be getting views. There'll also be 500 videos more online, along with the 600 videos online before today. But that video, that first video I ever shot, still gets views. Just like the videos today now get views, so it's building on itself. So take that for no other reason, invest moving forward, spend the time and do it, and you'll get the results.